Good morning. How is everybody doing? Welcome back, guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Look, I'm on time. I'm on time. Can you guys document that? And let me make sure that my sound is checking. Hold up. Let me know if y'all hear me because I know we had some issues last time. And hopefully I'm not misclicking different buttons and whatnot. Ooh, and I'm hearing myself somewhere else here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I am here. I am here. I am here. Welcome. Hey, Sabrina Speakeasy. I haven't seen you in a minute. I hope you're doing well. How you doing, love? Shout out to you. You sound okay. Mirror Moon. Hey, I hope you're having a better day. I just saw your comment earlier. Shout out to you. Hopefully things look up for you today. Katie, Nebby, shout out to y'all. Pika, Pika, Pika. The only Angie, the queen, of course. Wimmy Wim Wim is in the house. Shout out to Wim. I thought you'd be in bed by now. What time is it over there? Isn't it like 7 or something? Shout out to Wim. Sarah, Nebby, Sylvia's in the house. Thank you, Sylvia. Let's see. Dee Dee's in the house. Welcome. Everybody come through. Shout out to everybody in the house. Welcome, Don. Welcome. Tu mama. Welcome. Let's see who else. Simply Monica's here. Welcome. Yes. See, I'm on time. Yes. Okay. I expect for y'all to recognize how on time I am today. It's been a crazy week, y'all. I've been running around and doing different things. So it's been a crazy week. Welcome. How are you, boy? How are you? Heidi's mine. Rhiannon, Christine's in the house. KJ. I'm reading half of the names and not everything. I said J and it's KJ. Welcome. TLC and me, Amanda, David, Don, how are you? You said I have to love BJ's I told you so moment. That was phenomenal. I'm waiting for her to get back. I mean, I love that she's taking a break and doing amazing things, but I will say I do miss the girl. Like I miss the girl. Am I allowed to say that I miss BJ? And I know some of y'all miss her too. So I know I'm not the only one. Nikki, how are you? Shout out to you, everybody. Diamond, how you doing? On my way out the door. Thank you so much for listening. Shemex, welcome. It's a migraine. I'm sorry. Yo, I woke up with a little bit of a headache too, and I took some ibuprofen as well. So it's 6:15. I'm only in bed when I'm tired. Gotcha, Wim. I'm sorry. Hey, Adrian, how are you? Lovey Cats is in the house. Shout out to you, Sarah Lynn. Beaker Bop, how are you? Y'all I know we miss BJ. I know. Ava, how are you? I have arrived on time and already hit the like button. Thank you. We have arrived. Thank you. Y'all remember, please know the assignment. When you get into this chat, you're not just saying, hey guys, no, it's I've arrived. Please get started, right? Because I have to stop everything. Please get started. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Phoenix Book Girl, welcome to the channel. Shout out to you. Infamous, how are you, love? Shout out to Infamous. Shauna B's in the house. Stonefly Blue, welcome. Cute name. Me You's in the house. Welcome, Me You. Shout out to you. Katie's in the house. I'm gonna leave it in a bit. Heading to the hospital. Ooh. Well, please take care of yourselves. Self-love. Take care of you. That's important. Each says, LOL, I've arrived. We've missed BJ. I know we do. I've arrived. Please get started. Nobody's late. I'm not late. So I don't have to give my form to Pika. Some of y'all might have to, but not me. I'm on time. Yes, I am. Shout out to you. Yes, can we get those likes up? Thank you. Appreciate it. VD Kitten, thank you for being here. Who else? I think I've greeted everybody. Is it Boyle or Boyle? Not Boyle as in like Boyle. How do you see the LE at the end? I want to say it correctly because I was gonna say Miss Boy. Hey, Miss Boy, but I didn't want to say Boyle. I want to be careful, okay? Shout out to you. Mrs. Excuse me. My bad. Shout out to you, love. Thank you for being here. Pinche Becky, thank you. And please know that for those that don't know a little bit about me, English is not my first language. All right. So my reading comprehension was very much delayed in my childhood. We moved around a lot too, and I had a lot of disabilities. And like boil water. Okay, so I'm just gonna say boil, but I don't have to sound out the LE. I want to make sure. So when authentically ask you, I'm not trying to make fun of you. I just know that I'd be saying words a little crazy. And also, I have like really bad ADHD and I'm not medicated. You know, I'm surprised I know how to drive. I don't know. I mean, I'm doing okay. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's just how I am. Shout out to me. Kimmy, how are you? Thank you for being here. We have a lot in common. Yeah, I mean, I've told you guys the story. I was on the Hooked on Phonics reading group, and you wanted to be on the red fold. Well, what is it? I was on the red folders. There was the blue folders and then the red folders, and this was like reading levels, right? And so, you'd get it when it was reading time. You get into these groups, and what I learned, at least later on in life, because I see it repeated even now with my own children, is sometimes it's not so much about the child not knowing how to read. It's really about how they're being taught and how they're being encouraged and what they're being given to encourage, right? So as a kid, I hated reading like your traditional, this is the book that's assigned for the district type of thing, right? Hated that. It took me a while to mature to that kind of like level of interest. So you had me reading Goosebumps. I mean, that's how, shout out to Goosebumps, R.L. Stein. You had me reading I wasn't into no Babysitters Club, like that wasn't my thing, but I was into the Fear Street. If you choose your own adventure, that was me. I love the fact that I didn't have to finish a chapter book, that I could just go from page 5 to be into page 120 and about to be sucked into a tunnel because of the decision that I made right then and there. Yeah. So that was my shit. I mean, that was a thing. And these kids right now, it's like a certain way of teaching, but I will say that I thank R.L. Stein for helping me through my days of being on Hooked on Phonics. Yes, yes. And also Choose Your Own Adventures was another good one. So like I said, two of the books that I'm like, okay, this is cool. And I think I read a lot of Goosebumps. I like the books more than I like the shows. Let me say that much. And I'm bilingual, right? So keep in mind, like we learned Spanish before English. So I came from the when you're at home, you speak Spanish only. When you're in school, you speak English. So that right there had like a huge gap in my ability to comprehend certain things. And it affected me later on. It was great in grad school because I felt like I could really dig into that a little bit more because you write a lot of papers in grad school. But I had to learn a lot and I'm still learning. And there's times where I have a hard time. It's just how it is. You still have some of the Goosebumps? Really? Oh my god. I used to love like as much as I hated the district reading books, I used to love the scholastic like book fairs and stuff. That was my favorite. Oh my god, my hair's being all crazy. Book fairs was my thing. I loved the book fairs. That was like, you know, it was awesome to have a book fair at school. Then there was that. And then why did we get to this rabbit hole? I don't know. I forgot why we got here. Oh, because I said that I have a hard time pronouncing things. That's what it was. What else was I gonna tell y'all? There's something else I was supposed to say. Oh, when I really started maturing in my reading, then when you read like, To Kill a Mockingbird, you have a different appreciation for those kinds of books. The Great Gatsby, that was a great book too. Those were like you have to read in your district type of books. And what I realized is once I understood what I was reading and comprehended that was amazing. But it took me a while to get there. It really did. And there's a lot of art to a lot of the books that are written. So I have a lot of appreciation. You love Beverly Cleaver. I thought it was Cleaver. Isn't it Cleaver? Cleaver. I thought it was Cleaver. I could be wrong. These book fairs. I know these book fairs are like they might as well. The book fairs are out of pocket now, but back in the day, you bring $5, $10, $3, and you can buy you a little nice book. Oh my God, that was one of my favorite books. Of Mice and Men was another boring one, but a good one. And it took me a while. Like I said, as you mature, it takes you a while as your reading comprehension kind of goes up there. Yeah, but Of Mice and Men was one of my favorite readings. But nothing like it's crazy because I'll never forget. This was like they were reading The Great Gatsby. This was high school, right? And like I said, and I was at that level where a lot of this, I was kind of somewhere else in my reading. And so I was really able to engage in a lot of the literature. And that was one of my favorites. And you know what's so crazy? It's like some of these themes of these books are very applicable to today's society. You can apply a lot of what the Great Gatsby in that whole book, what happens today, and like various, society and stories and stuff like that. It's amazing. It's amazing. The Ramona books. Okay, gotcha. I couldn't get into the Ramona books. I couldn't, but that was a good. That was a. I heard it were great reads as well. Maramello, thank you for being here. It was one of your favorites. Thank you, thank you, thank you. VC Andrews. I've heard of VC. Wasn't it Flowers in the Attic? Didn't he write that as well? VC Andrews, am I right? Let me know. But anyways, it's a different kind of appreciation. But when you come from that background, bilingual background like myself, our first language is Spanish. It's still Spanish, and yet we would translate back and forth. Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like a forever thing, I don't know how much we've been scarred, I guess. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. I avoided classes with the books with the ice. Let me know what you mean. Flowers in the Attic. That's what I thought. I was like, yeah, Flowers in the Attic. That whole Flowers in the Attic, and then a child called it, and I said, I cannot. This is too much. But I mean, there's certain books that, like I said, I still remember because they had an impact on me. And now, I wish I could tell you that I sit down and I read a book, but I don't. Not anymore. Not like how I used to. I'm more into audibles. Thank God for audibles, because I can clean a house and read a book. Clean a house and read a book. That's amazing. But anyways, guys, welcome, 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 welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Well, we appreciate you reading to us. It's because I'm amazing. I don't know. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. But yeah, don't sleep on Choose Your Own Adventures and Goosebumps. If your kids are having a hard time reading, it's okay. Like, they'll catch up. There's a maturity level that goes with that. The Giver was another one. Yeah, that was another one. You're rereading your old favorites. You never know. You always learn something different when it comes to reading old favorite books. But anyways, let's get it together, guys, because we have somewhat of a huge list of things to review. Why don't I do this to get an idea of where to get started? Why don't we do a little poll? I am here for, and that'll give me the curious case of I'm here for Gene Hackman info. That Gene Hackman thing is very interesting, and there's other stuff that is coming about. Jordan Willis, I thought it was the full charging complaint, but it's like very vaguely written. And we're here for Keefe D. We have Keefe D news just this morning too. So go ahead and go vote. Now, while you're voting, please hit the like button, please, and thank you. Support the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Stephen King books. Did they? I could never get into. I don't know why Stephen King was a trip for me. I could never get into it. I don't know why. I could now, but not before when I was younger. Couldn't do it. Wow. Oh, another great read, House on Mango Street. Sandra Cisneros in her writing as a Latin. If y'all, let me know in the chat if you've ever read House on Mango Street. Oh my, it's an easy read, but oh my God, House on Mango Street was like, I could relate to it so much growing up. And I'll never forget my English teacher would push it on me. Read this. And I'd be like, why do you want me to read this? Yeah, it's an amazing book. Quirky Carlotta, thank you for becoming. First of all, you've been a member before, so thank you for renewing your membership. I love it, love it, love it. Thank you for your continued support of my channel. I appreciate it here. I know, KJ. I know. I never put it because I don't have enough time. I don't have enough options to put in the in the poll. Welcome. You said, see, some of y'all know about Mango Street. House on Mango Street was an amazing book. Yeah. So if you ever have a chance, it's an easy read. House on Mango Street. Try it. Sandra Cisneros was an amazing author. Yeah, definitely. I related a lot to House on Mango Street. Okay. let's get it together. So we have 65 votes so far. Go vote. So we're here for, okay, 51% said Gene Hackman, 40% said Curious Case of. Jordan Willis is 1%, and Keefe D is 7. All right, so we're going to start with Jordan Willis right away, because it's not a whole lot of, we've already reviewed most of it yesterday. So I don't feel like we have a whole lot of, big information and stuff like that. Shout out to Storm AF, who send me the charging docs on my email. By the way, for those, just letting you guys know, um we've changed our email, okay? So even though I'm still receiving messages on that email over there, that's going to get canceled pretty soon. I'm literally in the process of I'm letting it run for a month, and then I'm done. I'm not going to be able to receive emails from there. This is the new email. Please check it out. Check it out. With shout out to Sylvia again with the new computer and stuff like that. There's like a security thing that's been installed, so I'm able to make sure I check emails without like spyware and different kinds of things. So I'm not worried about any of that crap at all at this point. But Proton is gone. The iCloud is the new email, okay? And I've had Proton for like, what, 3 years now? So this is going to be a change. It's going to be a change. So make sure you guys, this is our email. So don't email me on Proton anymore. This is the new email. Please and thank you. Okay. Let's get into these charging documents. And honestly, it shouldn't be like, here it is. I don't feel like they give a lot of details other than what we already know and what's already been investigated, right? So we know that 2 people are being charged, which is Jordan Willis and a man by the name of what is it? Corey Ivory? Ivory Corey. And so Ivory Corey is the drug dealer. We know this, and these are felony charges at this point. So this is one of the documents. Now, to be quite honest, like I said, there's nothing else that's other than the warrant. There's nothing really else telling. I just didn't show this document last time. Is this it? Let's go to this one. Hold up. And this was filed March 5th. So we have a couple of counts. I think we have a total of 4 counts. Now hold up. Let me make sure. This is the first one, and then this is the second one. Yeah, Ivory J. Carson. That's his name, the drug dealer. So we have that. So for those that are not familiar, this is on the case of the 3 Kansas City Chiefs fans, the men that basically froze to death. We found out that there was some substance. They might have taken fentanyl. It was tested. We had 2 separate baggies that were tested. We were talking about yesterday, is it possible that maybe the friend didn't know that there was fentanyl on one of them, and because they tested both of the baggies and there was DNA, it's very likely that they both knew. It's likely that there was an awareness of fentanyl being consumed. So what happened was they were watching the game. I believe they were watching Jeopardy afterwards, if I remember the details. And then Steeler Princess, I see you. You're not chatting with yourself. I don't know why you say that. You're not invisible. Girl, come back. I mean, enjoy. I'm sorry, I can't greet everybody, but I see you. Anyways, so hold up, y'all. Let me make sure. I try my best to kind of acknowledge everybody. I can't always acknowledge everybody, so I apologize if I don't get to your comment right away. Please don't hold it against me. It's just there's a lot going on. So the friends froze. Basically, they were there to watch a game. They watched Jeopardy, and Jordan went to bed, and the other friends were basically left. All right. Well, they never made it to their cars. They were outside and basically froze to death. 3 of the men froze to death. Their cars were outside. One of the fiancés breaks into the property to try to wake up Jordan. And then that's when the police gets involved because they were calling them missing. People were looking for them. They could see their cars outside of the parking, area, but then that's what happened as well. So yeah, I mean, it's just a lot that was going on around that time. And so now it took them, a year for them to test the information to know that this guy actually, had a little bit more to do with the death, their death. And it's just amazing that it took them a year. But that's just my thought on that. Literally a year for them to charge and everything. You said it's quite possible that he didn't know. Even if the supplier is the same, it doesn't mean that it isn't cut from the fent. Test your drugs. I mean, you know, it's really sad because I guess fentanyl does that to your body where you don't even know that you might have taken a substance or something like that. You just don't know. I guess temperature wise, it's like a thing where you don't feel like it, whether it's too hot or too cold, it takes that away from you, that like feeling or whatever. So there's that. Keep that in mind. But I mean, these are just the charging documents. I don't feel like they're telling us anything different. So Storm AF, thank you so much for emailing these to me. I appreciate it. Everybody has a little bit of a different take to this. So yes, we're all together getting our thoughts out. It's impossible to address every chat. It's all good. You said test your drugs or don't do it. Well, Margot, it's so hard. Like when you're partying, nobody's really like ever saying, "Hey, like let me test." You know, when you're with friends, you're with friends. You don't really think that this could be a thing. You know, trying to catch up on my service dog is named Harper after Harper Lee, who wrote the book. Gotcha, Crafty Emily. No worries. It said a friend of mine OD'd the day before yesterday because it had Fenny stuff in it. She didn't know. Test your stuff. Maybe don't do drugs, and drugs are bad. I mean, that, there's that too. This is really sad, though. I'm sorry, Big Blue, that happened to you. I'm really sorry. You said you read somewhere in KC Media that Jordan was mixing the two drugs for his friends. I'm sure that we're going to find out a lot more as things develop. If you are smart enough to test your drugs, you are smart enough to not do drugs, in my opinion. Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot, What do y'all think? Hey, Katie did it. How are you? You said it was a joke. I thought test your drugs was a funny LOL, Margot. I'm like, I don't know. I just think like when you're like partying it up, I guess people don't really think about that. But I don't know. I mean, just people just got to be careful. And clearly fentanyl is not a drug to be messed with at all. And those that don't like fentanyl, I think is in every community has, how like many years ago it was, what was it? Meth was a thing. It's still a thing, right? Don't get me wrong. There's meth, those really dangerous drugs that when you take them, you're kind of like really playing Russian roulette type of situation. And there's a lot of communities. I know in the rural communities in my area, there's a lot that, there's a lot of dealing, there's a lot of manufacturing that's happening, and it's very easy to manufacture, and you just don't know what people are putting in things. Listen, I cannot wait till like I'm a supporter of marijuana. I think marijuana is fucking fantastic. It has helped a lot of people that I know. Oh, this thing came apart. It has helped a lot of people that I know, medically and both recreationally. So for me, it's like there's certain things that I feel like, um, if we have medicinal things that we know are being grown and they're not being engineered to freaking make everybody go crazy, hey, I'm in support of that. And I feel like there's a lot of people that are behind bars right now on stupid marijuana charges that should be reevaluated because that was 20 years ago. And here we are, with a different aspect. I'm a supporter. I'll say that much. And it's done a lot of wonders. I have friends that have been, that have chronic illnesses, right? I know that marijuana has been a blessing for them, especially medicinal, like medical marijuana has been a blessing for a lot of folks. But then when you have these kinds of things right here where people are doing the cracks and the cokes and what's another one? What's the one that you inject? Oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? I should know this, but I am drawing a blank. The one that you inject. I mean, there's a couple that you inject, but there's one specific one. Let me know. Why am I drawing a blank on this? This is a huge one too. And that people, heroin, thank you, heroin. See, y'all know what I'm talking about. That one right there. That one, like I said, these are the drugs. Ketamine is another one that people have done way too much and they're just going crazy on as well. The leaves do wonder for pain. Yes, they do, Wim. And I can attest to it. I know I've seen the leaves do phenomenal things. And I'm just saying, like, we really need to, as a country, all of these people that are behind bars over petty, drug stuff as it pertains to marijuana, they should be reevaluated. It's only yeah. And you know what's so crazy? 20 years ago it wouldn't have been that, right? Like some folks would have been like, we don't do that. But weed is amazing. So and that's what that's all I'll ever, stick to. Heroin is one, like crack, was heroin, meth, all these ones that you can put a bunch of shit in a lab. Those are dangerous, and people are constantly, producing them and then dying and blowing up, their spots because of it. So I think that that's a little bit different because you're having like people manufacture that, and it's not regulated. It's being sold and everything. So yeah, keep that in mind. I don't think anyone you said should be in jail in prison for doing drugs. It's ridiculous. I mean, it would be great if treatment would be, you know, an opportunity for folks versus just locking people up. But yes, peyote from Mexico, there's that. There's that. Get your green cards from reputable places. We're lucky in Colorado to have our shops. Yeah, get your green cards from, I think in Colorado there's probably more CBD uh dispensaries. There's more dispensaries than there are more Starbucks. It's a very profit growing business, I'll say that much. It's probably a lot more than Starbucks. There used to be a lot more Starbucks, and now there's like a lot more weed places, which is, I think it's amazing. It's amazing. And they have a security. Like I've noticed, the really good ones have like security. They keep their place clean. It's like a shop. You go there and it's a shop. It's amazing. Yeah. Let's see. Green cards. I didn't know ICE was there. You might as well call them green cards. Yeah, get your green card. Get your green cards. Anyways, y'all, moving on. So that is what we had for the Jordan Willis situation, which you guys like didn't really vote a whole lot as of interest in that. Okay, I'm gonna close that poll real quick. All right, let's talk about Keefe D. So that one is also on the low, very low on the poll, but apparently this just broke this morning, and I thought this was interesting. I said, why not? Let's read it. Let's read it. Let's read what Keefe D has to say. Now we're changing the story. We're changing the narrative of, what happened, what actually happened. So Tupac Shakur's murder suspect says he's innocent in his first TV interview since his arrest. So Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was arrested September 2023 in connection with the 96 murder of Tupac. What do you guys think? He's innocent. He's innocent. What do y'all think? Let me know. Should we ask Jaguar Wright about that? I don't know. She might have been there. Um, what do you guys think? You guys think he's innocent? He had nothing to do with this? You said Reggie's going to jail. I think I think that there's a lot of more people that might be involved in this whole situation. You just never know. I'm just saying. Let me know. I have several family members who are hooked on Oxy. Ooh, horrible drug. Okay, so let's keep going. So the article reads, and I'm waiting for you guys to catch up. The man arrested on charges related to the 1996 murder of Tupac Shakur is speaking out and maintaining his innocence. Dwayne Keefe D was arrested September, we know this, 2023, in connection to Shakur's death, and spoke to ABC News from behind bars at the Clark County Detention Center in Las Vegas, saying, I'm innocent. I did not do it, Davis, 61, said, adding of the prosecutors, they don't have nothing. They know they don't have nothing. They can't even place me out here. They don't have a gun, no car, no Keefe D, no nothing. I do wonder, what do they have? What do the prosecutors have to convict Keefe D? What could be the deal? Like, what could the prosecutors have? Now, mind you, they did push this trial was supposed to happen this year. Now it's happening in 2026. What do they have? His own self-snitching? He said, lock him up, they won't let me win. What do they have? What do you what could they possibly have? He said he for sure was in the car which the bullets came from. An admission of receipts, so I thought. So what are they going to say? Like, what about the things that you said in this interview, in that interview, in this book, in that book? What about this? So this is what he says. I ain't killed nobody. Never did. Never killed nobody, Davis added. According to the ABC News, Davis claims he was in Los Angeles at the time of Shakur's Las Vegas murder and also says there are witnesses who can confirm his alibi. I remember where I was when Tupac was murdered, by the way. However, Las Vegas detectives build their case against Davis based on what they say is his own account of the killing, including a 2019 self published memoir with his name as a co author. He's the co author of that book. How do you like that? Didn't he confess or something? I mean, he basically put a target on himself. He self snitched. That's what he did. I think there's hella more people involved. How does this affect Diddy's trial? That's the question. So now, just stop it. Where do you guys, what do you guys think of this? Let me know. Let me know. Where does everybody stand with this? I'm done. You're done. Oh my goodness. Jada about to crash out. Do you think Jada knows something about this? I mean, this is a lot of speculation at this point. But anyways, he's behind bars and he's saying a bunch of things, okay? So he says, and mind you, the only reason why we know that Diddy was supposed to pay him $1 million for a Shakur hit is because he put that out there. Not like none of us knew this until he put that out there. He put that out there years ago. And now he's like, no, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I didn't do it. I did nothing. Didi says Jada knows. Lord have mercy. Okay, so it says, I've never read the book, Davis said of the memoir Compton Street Legends. I just gave him details of my life, Davis said of his co author. And he went and did his little investigation and wrote the book on his own. Prosecutors allege that Davis was the gang leader of the Crips in Compton, California, referring to him as the shot caller on the night of Shakur's death. After his arrest, Davis was charged with one count of murder with a gang enhancement, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department announced in a press conference at the time. The department had reopened the investigation into Shakur's murder that summer. Dwayne Davis was the shot caller for this group of individuals that committed this crime, said Las Vegas Police Homicide Lieutenant Jason Johansson during the press conference. Okay. So, of course, we know that Tupac was killed by a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas in September of 1996 after attending the Mike Tyson fight against Bruce Shelton and with Suge Knight, Marion Suge Knight. Okay, so he was shot 4 times. Now, what else is said on this interview? I guess that's it. He just gave a little. He said that he didn't confess to nothing. He just basically did an interview, and they took his words and put the words in the book, and that's that. That's that. I don't know. You said I'm lost. I've put so much disinformation out there, confuse us all so much that I've given up trying to understand, which sucks because that was likely what they wanted. Says Edie. Edie, are you talking about Keefe D? Is that what you're talking about? I mean, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I think they're waiting for the Diddy trial things to come out, like more info. Huh. That's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I think that this guy is sitting in prison and he's trying to figure out how to get himself out of this. I think he knows a lot more, but this culture of like, we're not going to snitch and we're not going to tell. And yet he's got no problem making profit off of that. I mean, he really put himself there. He really did. And I do think that he knows a lot more than what he's saying. Do I think that he called the shots on this murder? Yeah, I do. I do. I personally think that, in my opinion, allegedly, that he was doing this to appease Diddy and company, to appease one side, because there was this West Coast, East Coast beef that was going on around that time, that rivalry. And so he wanted to, send a message too. And I think that's why he put that message out there. And then Diddy was supposed to pay him and never did. There's nothing that supports that he ever got paid by Diddy, but he said it. Why not address this here? Was he ever given money, or was he ever advised to do this? Because he said it, and I have that transcript of that interview that he did, in 2010 or 2011. That would be my question. If I was interviewing Keefe D, did you accept any kind of payment from Diddy as it pertains to taking Tupac out? That needs to be clear. That needs to be clear. That's it. That's all on that. Do you think it will actually come to conclusions and be solved? Well, I hope so, Leah. I really, really do. He might have not shot clearly the gun, but he's a shot caller. He basically made the call for things to happen. He's denying it, but I just think that there's some truth behind that. He snitched on himself. That's what he did. You said the ones that claim they don't snitch are the ones that snitch the most. Yeah, that is very, very true. So I guess we'll find out. I want to see what the prosecutors have for evidence, because that's what they said. I'm curious to know. What do y'all think? You said this is one channel been breaking it down, by the trial was delayed and Reggie Wright aspects of it. What it makes you wonder, is Reggie, what his say is going to be in all of this and whatnot. But I have a lot of questions about this. But shout out to y'all. So this is it. This is the thing. He's going to do an interview. We'll probably review it depending on what happens. Okay. All right, let's talk about Gene Hackman, and we'll go from here. And then, oh my goodness, you guys. So there was a controversy of the dog, right? This misidentification of the dog. They hadn't done the what is it? Is it necropsy? The autopsy for the dog. How do you say it? I know how to say this. I've said it before. Hold up. Let me see. Is it necropsy? It's like an autopsy for an animal. Necropsy. That's what it's called. Thank you. Necropsy. Thank you. They haven't done that for the dog. They're planning to do that. We have to talk about what is going on with this situation with Gene Deal and whatnot. So New Mexico Gas Company shares findings from the investigation in Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa's home. People are speculating, and this is what people are speculating, that this investigation has been botched or is botched. My understanding is that family members have been interviewed as well from that side. So I don't know what that looks like. They had to go interview the family members too. I stay hooked on phonics. Yes, I do. And I I almost said it, not I almost said it, but I didn't, Andrew. Lord have mercy. I stay hooked on phonics. Thank you. Did I say Gene Deal? I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I meant Gene Hackman. Please call me out when I've said this. Please and thank you. The two different genes, okay? Clearly two different genes, two different situations. We're talking about Gene Hackman. Thank you. Okay, so this article right here, and it was reviewed, I guess, by other bloggers as well. And I was like, well, what is this about this article? Let's talk about this. So I guess they're really looking into whether or not this could have been carbon monoxide, even though it's been ruled out. Okay, but there were some red flags as it pertains to them checking, the home and whatnot from the gas company. They had to call this out as well. So the New Mexico Gas Company found 5 issues during their investigation at the home of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa, but they're not believed to be factors in the deaths. Hackman and Arakawa and their dog were found dead inside their home on Old Santa Fe Trail in Santa Fe on February 26th. We know they died before that. We know this. Okay. The New Mexico Gas Company was called to the home that night to investigate and run tests on the property's gas line. Now, New Mexico Gas Company told the sheriff's office Monday that while there's no significant findings in the investigation for gas leaks or carbon monoxide, they issued 5 red flags at Hackman and Arakawa's home. The sheriff's office wrote in a news release Tuesday. According to the officials, one of the red tags was because of a minuscule leak of 0.33% gas in the air, which is not a lethal amount, according to the news release from the sheriff's office. The 4 other red flags issued by the gas company were for code enforcement violations, not involving gas leaks or carbon monoxide. Okay. Now, I don't know. No, Lelia, you're wonderful. Thank you for correcting me. There's too many genes to keep up with. Yes. This was Gene Hackman, okay, not Gene Deal. Thank you. The front door was wide open. So the other ones were code enforcement. Not enough to say. It's almost like when they write an article like this, I'm like, okay, so I get it that they're putting this out here so that people don't speculate. But honestly, people are going to speculate no matter what. People have already speculated that this has been a botch investigation one way or another. It is still being ruled as, suspicious, but no foul play. I don't know how I feel about that still. Like suspicious enough, but no foul play. Suspicious enough, the front door's open. We don't know who exactly saw the bodies there, whether it was security or the pest control people or both. Who died first? People are speculating a lot. There's a lot. Why would it be suspicious if they think there's no foul play? That is the question. It's and I guess I'll give my perspective, right? Why would it be suspicious if they think there's no foul play? I would think that if something is suspicious, it's because we're ruling out if there's foul play. What made it suspicious? Is it the fact that you have the deaths, the crime scene or the not crime scene? I don't know. Like, is it the animals? What made it suspicious? Yes, I think it's suspicious simply because they found 2 dead bodies and a dead dog, and they had been dead for a while, right? And I don't know. There's just so much to this. Why did those kids have to put that weird info out there? There's that too. Oh my God, no way. Well, thank you, Adrian, for making me feel better. I appreciate you. I'm a lot careful about that though. Transgenic mice to transgender mice. What? Oh my God. That's a horrible thing. But this right here though, my friends, and I do think that the whole situation with the their children is weird. They kind of concluded, maybe misinformed. I don't really know that it could have been a gas leak or something to that effect. I'm not really sure. I'm sure, and we'll find out more, I'm sure. I saw a picture of his daughters the other day and they announced it and they look happy. Really, Joe? We won't know a lot until the autopsies are performed. Hopefully, they will shed some light on this because it's so strange. Well, if they were mummified to the like, are they going to be able to find that out? because sometimes, like, the way in which they determine a cause of death or who died first, it really is about the way in which the body is, right? You thought for sure it was carbon monoxide. Well, with the red flags, I mean, I'm sure the gas company doesn't want to take fault of any of this if it was carbon monoxide. They're not trying to take, like, why would you? Oh shit. Carbon monoxide might have killed two celebrities and their dog. They're not going to want to, they don't want that. They have to be very careful. So I see this way. I see this as a twofold situation. They're saying, everything is fine on the gas side. There might have been some, red flags. You got some code enforcement things, right? So they won't say it's carbon monoxide because they're not going to take fault if they don't need to. It's a gas company. But it's suspicious. I think it's all around. Hi, Eric Rader. How are you? You said, I think it's suspicious because these bodies dropped dead and they reported that there was no reported gas leak, period. How does mummification occur in this situation? Have you ever heard of bodies found mummified? This is so strange. The only time I've heard of a body being found mummified is, like, I've heard of people that go missing and then they're, like, found somewhere, in a area of a home, buried somewhere. Do you think, Aaron, you said that the mummified because of the space heater? Lack of moisture and heat? It's New Mexico, right? You said, don't know if it's true, but I read that he removed his children from the estate and everything went to his current wife. I didn't know that. I don't think there's a wrong answer right now because we don't have enough answers, But with the climate, mummification happens faster. Wow. We need a taxidermist on the panel. How are you, Tinkle Tinkle? Shout out to my Tinkle Tinkle. I wasn't expecting that comment. Let's see. I would think autopsies reveal the cause of death. Why aren't they doing that? Is it taking a little bit longer because they've been mummified? I don't think they could take blame if a leak wasn't reported. A lot of invisible killers are cause of death. Asbestos dust can be detrimental to life over time. Say that it's like, I don't know. It's too soon. Being a classical musician, we have a flair for the dramatics. I wonder if the wife found him dead and ended herself and the dog. A lot of people have said this too. That's what they were investigating, right? So it came from the appliance, like boilers and fires, not the actual gas pipes. So I don't think that the gas company would be deemed at fault anyway. Let me know. Kirby Summers said on YouTube it has something to do with the property. Gene did not own his home. He didn't own the home? Do you think, but was it both bodies that were found mummified or only one? Was it just Betsy's? And here's the other question. If somebody is more mummified than the other, I don't know what's the appropriate term, guys. Please forgive me, but would it mean that somebody died before the other person? I'm so confused by this. Yeah, I thought they owned that community. But I do wonder. Phoenix Books Girl, thank you for becoming a member. Shout out to you. Hey James. Was there a tunnel under his house or what was the rumor? I don't know, Andy, about that one. So this is why I say I don't think that there's nothing wrong to speculate in this situation. I mean, because there's a lot. There's a lot. And this is just such a bizarre situation. Yeah, I thought he bought the home in 1982, KDT. Thank you for saying that. Okay, so the gas company is saying this, okay, that they had those red flags. And the other four were for there was a leak, but it wasn't lethal enough. And then the other four were for code enforcement. So this is what they said, that the sheriff said that those tags were issued for water heater and gas log lighters installed in 3 fireplaces. They had 3 fireplaces in their home. New Mexico is fairly hot. Do people really use the fireplace in New Mexico? I'm sorry, I'm not a fireplace kind of person. I really do. You guys have a fireplace? Like I could see a fireplace in like Colorado, or like in a, like if you're in like in a rural kind of cold area, more mountainous when it gets really really cold. Hey, Stay Spiria, shout out to you. Sorry, I couldn't say your name there. Um, but do people typically like in hot areas? Oh, I see desert, cold at night. So is that when people would use the fireplace there? I don't know, man. I think that if I lived in a desert, I would be like loving it if it's cold because it would be hot all day. Um, I mean, Las Vegas, I've been there. I've been to New Mexico. I just don't remember too much. Hot and cold. Cold at night in the desert. Gotcha. So you guys use, all right, it says that, yeah, you use the fireplace in the winter. See, I'm just not very informed about when people use fireplaces and space heaters. So it does get really cold. Here it is. Mummification occurs when dead tissue turns into a hard, shrunken mass. Often from dehydration, natural mummification can occur in dry and hot environments. It's really what? See, I'm learning. Okay. It snows a lot in Santa Fe. Does it snow over there too? Damn. You have a fire. I don't have a fireplace. Well, I don't have a fireplace. I have to think about that one. I don't have a fireplace. A lot of those houses don't have heat for the evenings. I have a. It's not a fireplace. It's what do you call those like pretend fireplaces? They look like fireplaces, but they're not. Like you could just. I don't know what it's called, but it's like you turn on the thing, the light switch. It's not a real fireplace, I would say, where you would have to get like wood and put it in there and burn it. You know what I mean? I forget what you call those fake fireplaces. By the way, electrical fireplaces, thank you. I have one of those. I don't have an artificial fireplace. We don't have hey, let me go get the wood and cut up the pine trees and put it in there. That's not what we have. Um, you just reminded me of something. Seth MacFarlane, is that his name? That's not his name. Hold up. Now that's gonna bother me. Speaking of fire, this guy's on trouble right now. It's not MacFarlane. That's the actor. Um, the Fire Festival guy. Okay, the Fire Festival guy. Is his name Seth? I forgot his name. Why am I thinking? Billy McFarlane. Is Seth MacFarlane related to Billy McFarlane? It's Billy McFarlane. That's why I'm thinking, not Seth MacFarlane. Thank you. Anyway, so he's speaking of that because you spelled it with the Y. So Billy McFarlane is trying to recreate again. We talked about that Fire Festival too. It's in Mexico, so that's being like an issue right now that's being talked about. But anyways, it's a fancy space heater is an electrical fireplace, but I don't have to go outside and get some wood. So anyways, that being said though, are fireplaces places where lumberjack rabbit are fireplaces like a place where you'd have to be careful for carbon monoxide, right? Like leaks and stuff like that. And I'm assuming if it's electrical, even more so. But I guess in the property, they had 3 fireplaces, 3 of them. So it's a pretty huge house, guys. Keep that in mind. And it was only the 2 of them. I just wondered, like, they didn't have anybody else to check on them or anything like that whatsoever. Is it possible that a leak happened and maybe it hasn't been reported yet? Potentially. I don't know. There's a lot to think about in this situation. There's an electrical fireplaces and that has fireplaces. Gotcha. If they get kidnapped by the cartel, who's gonna find them if they go to Mexico? Who are you talking about? I think there you go. Stay Spiria. I have an electrical fireplace too, just because I like how it looks, but never really get to use it since it's never cold around enough in AZ. It's there for decoration, Belen. It's over decoration. But anyways, a lot to speculate. They're interviewing the family, which I think that they need to, in my opinion. That's my thought on that. Okay, moving on, guys, because we do have to move on from this. Let me read this last comment on this. You said, I wonder if she may have had a heart attack and spilled pills. He found her, put dog in the closet, and went for help. Door and open, sunglasses. Maybe in the process, he had a heart attack. He had a heart issue of his own. A lot of people are speculating this too. Thank you, Sassy. Yeah, and then there's that. A lot of newer homes have gas fireplaces. Keep that in mind. How are you, Perry? The gas fireplaces should be vented just as well as the real wood places. A lot of real wood fire were retrofitted with gas in older homes. Interesting. But his pacemaker stopped. I have a lot of questions about this. You said when you lived in Vegas, I had a fireplace. The fire was hot enough to roast marshmallows. There's that. So they do get hot. Okay. We have to move on. Let's move on. Let's talk about, first of all, shout out to BJ. That's Prize Witness TV Investigates. BJ Investigates. So I hadn't watched this full thing, and I saw that she did commentary on this. Now, in this very video, for those, we are moving on to this now. The curious case of Bam Margera. Oh, man. Bam, I love this. I love this commentary, and I love this conversation that they had. BJ did a reaction video yesterday, and I'm so here for it. Because let me tell you something. When somebody like defames your character, as they have a lot for BJ, right? And, you know, there's just this malicious intent behind it. It sucks when you're having to defend yourself, you know, and you're showing receipts and you're doing it, you know, video after video, and you're having to defend yourself. And it's like people are trying to silence you at the same time, or trying to, you know, they're trolling you, or they're doing different things about you and whatnot. It feels really good when there is some vindication, you know, when you realize that you might have been right about this, that, and the other. And, there's something that shows it. And sometimes people will never give you the flowers that you deserve when it's happening. I give BJ her flowers. Y'all know that, okay? But she deserves flowers from a lot of other people that really try to silence her. That she deserves a lot. She deserves a lot of apologies, in my opinion. And I came when this battle was happening, and she was, you know, carrying on. I kind of came in the middle of it. I wasn't all the way in. A lot had already been said and done. I kind of came around the time of the lawsuit, and when they were trying to silence her, right? Yes, thank you. But I will say that as a content creator, it feels good when you're right about something and there's some level of vindication. And sometimes you have to call this out for what it is. So Bam does this, conversation podcast, right? If you get to the 1 minute, 9 second mark, so you already had Steve-O the Clown apologize to Bam Margera for enforcing sobriety on him, which I said, you know, it really sucks when you have family in the middle of an addiction or in between addictions or all this other stuff. But when you are enforcing sobriety, it's difficult. It's not a place that people need to be careful, because it's not always with the best intent. And I feel like a lot of people that were trying to get him into this conservatorship and, you know, get in there and pushing him to do X, Y, and Z didn't have his best interests at heart. And I think a lot of people could see that, but, you know, there was a lot of resistance to a certain degree. So let's get into this. Bam gives commentary about the curious case of Bam Margera.
Because she didn't think I would make it, and nurses aren't supposed to show emotion. And you know that.
Let me see. I think it's right over here.
She cooks for me.
Watching Chris Hansen marathon.
Right over here.
I got a real problem, you know, because she and when we're in the house alone,
Yeah.
she doesn't like to wear clothes. So like
Oh,
she
man.
stretches me in the nude.
You poor bastard.
I mean,
I no longer feel sorry for you, man.
Oh,
I was really
fuck
enjoying that story, man.
All right.
Hold on.
No, dude.
but
It's,
yeah, like I have become,
yeah.
besides going out skating and doing fun things like this, like the bar is the last place I want to be.
Good
now.
for you, dude.
That's
It
That's
amazing.
just,
amazing.
it just switches like that, and I never knew if and when it ever would.
Man,
You know what I mean? There's one
I
point
do.
where
Yeah.
this biker shook my hand in town. He's a biker dude,
Yeah.
and he would always give me a bag of bug shug because
Yeah.
that's just the way it was. One time it stung my nose. I was like, "Yo, that's some weird shit." He's like, "Oh, because it was speed." Well, so now I'm like, "Yo, give me more of that. Give me more of
Yeah.
that." There was a point where I'm like, I'm doing it like on the hour, every hour,
Yeah.
to the point where I'm looking for it on the rug in case I drop some crumbs, and I don't even know.
He is looking more healthier, right? Shauna B, thank you for being a member for 19 months, love. I appreciate your support for 19 freaking months. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, love. Yes, he is looking a lot more healthier. He's looking a lot more, just healthy.
How in the world I'm going to stop doing this, because
Yeah.
it was as much as addicting as a cigarette. Like when I get off of a plane, I have to have one,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
is what it took was going into 5 seizures, 20 minutes apiece, where on the 5th one, Naveed, the shaman, took me to the hospital, and I woke up 8 days later on life support with a tube down my throat with COVID and pneumonia. I was on the brink. When I came to, the nurse was crying because she didn't think I would make it, and nurses aren't supposed to show emotion. And that was right when I met Lima. I'm like, is that fucking helmet, or are you putting oleander in my tea or some shit?
Yeah.
Are you somehow benefiting off of the death of Bam? Because like, I was his guardian and we tried. Now my name is out there. Yeah, well, you changed your name 6 times, you shady fuck.
Well, speaking of Lima, we were talking about this a minute ago, that documentary. It's about her. What did you think about that? That Curious Case of Bam?
Well, the curious case of me not knowing the fuck it was. Well, I mean,
I do have to say that,
clip-
like, the curious case of Bam, that literally, was it really even about that? Think about it. Like, even thinking back, and I'm not going to rewatch that shit, but I mean, literally, it just didn't feel like it was about Bam Margera at all. And I would say it became the curious case of Lima.
to a photo of Brittany was out of her mind. Of course, they keep flipping to her like this.
Yeah.
So, but it should have been called The Curious Case of Lima, because they barely showed me in it. But I'm very happy because I did not know what to expect. I mean, there was footage of me, body cam footage of 20 laser beam SWAT team machine gun saying drop everything at the hotel and put me in a mental institution. I thought that could have been on there. So I didn't know what to expect. And now when I realized it's the battle between BJ Investigates, who started the Free Bam movement, versus Lima, and her finding out all Lima's shady doings.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that it got exposed, because I would give Instagram posts all the time and be like, FBI, take a look at fucking Lima, because she faked an autopsy report claiming that Amanda Rabb died of whatever. She died of a goddamn seizure, and that's a fact. You can look at the autopsy report that she whited out and put something different on. This is some shady fucking shit.
This is what I didn't understand is, why didn't Lima ever sue Bam for saying this, right? She went after BJ. I didn't understand. Like, he was the one that was saying these things. Personally, I just feel like you literally, I don't understand. I don't get this. And how do you, that was never clear. How come you misread this? Why did you say it this way? Was it an email? What was it exactly? What was the misread here? I didn't understand that. And why not just clarify it? Why not come back online? Because she had the platform to do it. I mean, she was going on Soft White Underbelly. Why not just say, guys, I misread it. I'm sorry. Let me take it back. This is what happened. This is what I was given. But none of that was ever clear. Even in this documentary, it was never clear about what exactly was said. So I have to wonder. Yeah, like I think BJ became a threat for her because she wasn't going to back down from like receipts and things that were out there. But the thing is I just don't understand, like, why not just, she had the opportunity, she has a channel. She could have cleared that. I just have a lot of questions. You said, I'll tell you why. The first person under her care passes away. The second person she sues, she thinks she can save her business from her mess. I have a lot of questions. I do. Thank you so much, Cinco Tits, for the 999. Lima literally says she almost jumped off a bridge to. She did say that in that one interview. With was it Adam Grand Mason? Why is she a healthcare provider? Well, and let me just say this: like, it would have been different if that was like her survival story of like, guys, this is the time in my life where I was really, really, really had a hard time, and I wanted to, because I think we can all agree to it. If you've been in the helping field, you could have easily faced a situation where, things might have been too hard. You're in the helping field. Helping people can be very difficult for your own mental health, right? She could have said, like, this is what happened, but she put this out here too. And then she has this view of like how she sees the homeless population, how she sees people with mental health, how she sees certain folks, literally given a bad name to experimental therapies that, first of all, they take a long time to approve. They need to be reviewed. People need to be careful with this shit. I just saw another video. Oh my God. Speaking of experimental therapies, okay? And I have to pull this up. I saw another video and I saw Sloan was talking about this too. Shout out to Sloan. He did a short. See if I saved it. I hope I did. I think I did. He did a short about Ariana Grande, right? Ariana Grande, like, talked about how she is in like erasure. It's called erasure therapy, okay? Where they're basically erasing her memories. She's talking about this while she's on the red carpet for like a movie or whatever. And she literally put this out here. And that's what I'm talking about, is that these celebrities or these people go into these like experimental therapies. And mind you, a lot of therapies start from they're experimenting things, right? But some of this stuff is like peer reviewed, studied before it's put out there. Why would you want to erase your memory? So that's a whole separate video that I'm working on too, that I wanted to dig into, right? And give my thoughts on that because it's really fucking crazy. You saw it? I'm telling you, it's bizarre. It's just bizarre. Bizarre. Shout out to Sloan because he did that video. I don't have it with me, so I'll have to check it out here in a little bit. But it just made me question a little bit more about this. So I think that when you're working with vulnerable people, like Lima was, you have to be careful about what you're doing. You know what I mean? What you're putting out there, how you're putting it out there, what you're saying. That's how I feel. And that Adam Grand Mason interview, it sticks in my head because that wasn't the only red flag that was there. There was a couple other red flags that I saw that really kind of concerned me as well. But thank you, Tico Tits, for the $9.99. I appreciate it. Your super chat got me to this tangent, thinking about what Sloan had said too. That being said, though, I mean, I don't know what's gonna. Can she reinvent herself? Can Lima reinvent herself with this aura invention thingy? I don't know.
Well, calls from that
FBI
helmet.
would just take it in one ear and out the other. So now that this is on investigative discovery, yay, they finally might start looking into it.
So talk about that. You were talking about the virtual therapy, or the Aurora or whatever it is. Man, how was that?
He said Aurora. Aura. I don't even know who these guys are, but shout out to them.
That
it didn't make sense at all to me.
Yeah.
Like with the T-Rex coming at me trying to eat me and then the kitty cat licking milk, you're like, what the fuck? I'm going to go over there. You're on the right track. No shit, I'm on the right fucking track. Why would I want to go that
Why
way?
would there be dinosaurs on fucking videos? Like, I don't get it. Or kitty cat. Like, I understand there's this thing about, there's like this ASMR channel where, what's her name? Is her name Kayla Kowalski? Every once in a while, I get little shorts from this woman who feeds her animals like raw food, and then you hear the animals chew this raw food. And there's something I'm like, okay, they're chewing it. Like some people find something relaxing about hearing animals chew food. I find interesting how she organizes their food. She organizes the food in a very certain way that I'm like, oh, that's an interesting way to organize, because she feeds her animals raw food. So putting somebody in a virtual headset like this and putting them in very interesting predicaments. I don't know why being eaten by a dinosaur or chased down by a dinosaur would be a thing to put somebody through. What do y'all think? Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know. I don't know. Y'all want to hear a dinosaur following you while you're like struggling through a drug addiction or anything like that? Yeah, she has no credentials. Absolutely none. Absolutely none that we know of. Maybe she does now. I don't know. Maybe she got herself something.
Can you explain? Can you explain what the software, the virtual reality is? What is it supposed to do?
Don't know, but I can tell you that when you go to the kitty cat and you know, watching the animal eat like is supposed to be some kind of form of therapy, which makes sense because I'll stare at a squirrel with a little nut the whole time, like, oh, that's the most cute shit I've ever seen. So when you see the kitty cat licking the milk, you're like, oh, and you look over, you're like, oh. So like, I guess if you go this way, then you might find some sense of peace to relax your mind.
Yeah.
But I mean, some fucktard on crack might be like, I'm going to go try to fight that thing and go into a seizure. I saw me do it.
So how happy?
Not during the helmet, but as soon as I met Lima, I started having seizures left and right.
So how happy?
Clockwork Orange.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, how happy were you when BJ Investigates decided to start the free BAM movement?
I don't know, because I wasn't allowed to look at it. You don't get internet and treatment. And Lima always said, there's this free BAM movement thing. Do not look at it. Don't even get tempted.
That's a good question, Cheeks. Thank you so much for the $5, Cheeks. Thank you for supporting the channel. This right here, where's the research that says exposure therapy is good for addicts in early recovery? That's a great question. And why isn't any of this being supported, right? Like I said, there's a lot of empirical research about certain things that you can do during experimental therapies and stuff like that, you know, different things like that. But exposure therapy, for somebody that's an active addict or an addiction, somebody who was still struggling with substances, I just don't know what the point of that was, or putting them in those situations. I mean, I don't know. And if you've never had a seizure and suddenly you start having seizures after using this device, I mean, wouldn't that be the biggest red flag?
Good the moon. So finally, when I got out, I just randomly scrolled across a minute's worth of her. I'm like, that makes perfect sense. Then I watched the whole thing. I'm like, yes. She has bought every body cam footage, every 911 call made of me or for me or to me or whatever, and got to the bottom of it. Yeah. And I asked her, why? Are you trying to clock bank? She's like, no, I just want to get to the bottom of it.
She's a lawyer.
Yeah.
So she knows how to do the investigation stuff.
Yeah. Well, she went to law school, so she knows the drill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's not? I thought she was a lawyer.
No, she is.
She
said, just doesn't practice.
She says in the
I don't know who is the person who said, no, she's not. No, she's not. Okay.
Documentary that she took the New Jersey bar.
Yep, she did.
Yeah. She made me not practicing lawyer.
But I guess she does better on her podcast. So
she does well.
Yeah.
She got a very popular YouTube channel.
The thing about BJ, I think that sets her apart from a lot of folks is she's a phenomenal researcher. Like she's liked. People like her. People respect her. People love the research that she does. She's able to connect things. She's able to put things into perspective. For me, as somebody who is not a lawyer, when she breaks things down, especially that legal aspect, it makes sense to a regular person like myself. Like you can't go, like you get it. So yeah, I mean, and she's fucking honest. She's honest. She's forthcoming. Okay. Everything that she says she has done, she's educated, she's done it, she's put it out there. If I ever felt like while I was reviewing her lawsuit that, man, BJ's a little sketchier, I would have said that, but that never got that impression from her. She's always been 1000% throughout this whole journey. And that's that. Yeah. So she's very liked. She's very well received.
I'm a dumbass. I have no fucking clue who the fuck you guys.
Yeah, I don't do that. BJ,
I'm like, I have no idea.
she's got a pretty cool YouTube channel.
Dude, I've got to where when we moved out here, like I'm so out of touch with shit. Like to have a podcast and all this stuff. I don't know who most like. I have no clue.
Guys, I know. I think Tinkle, did you make comment about the haircut? I haven't seen this cut in a long time. Sorry, I can't help it. I have not seen somebody with this haircut in a long time. I can't be the only one who thinks that. It's giving John and Kate +8, but shout out to him. He looks like a cool dude. John and Kate +8. I don't even know who this guy is, but shout out to him.
You guys are fucking doing a line dance to his broken ass heart. What the fuck's going on?
He's over there crying in the corner. Everybody's like, "Do the dance, dude!
Hey,
Get up!"
Did you guys see him at the inauguration?
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Are we gonna talk about that?
Anyway,
bless his heart.
That's where it ends. And this is the I'm not subscribed, but I guess I'll have to subscribe. X5 podcast. They are a channel with 160,000 subscribers. Okay. I thought they were in the millions. Look at that. They're a pretty huge podcast. They interviewed I don't like this loser right here. You guys know I don't like Dog the Bounty Hunter. But they did interview a bunch of people. Chris Hansen. Have a seat. Chris Hansen is a regular schmegular there. So okay, well, I'm now subscribed. Shout out to them. Didn't know who they were. Anyways. You said the sweet life of Zach and Cody. What are you talking about? The dog is you said the dog is annoying? Well, the dog was chill. I love it. The haircut is giving Adam Lambert in American Idol. Oh, no. It's a different kind of haircut, but now is it a wig? It's not a wig. I don't know him. Do y'all know him? Let me know if you know him. I cannot. Y'all are crazy in the chat. It's giving 2008 emo scene here. I mean, it was giving John and Kate +8. That's what it was giving me. I was like, that guy got the John and Play. Oh my God, guys. Well, I am out of here. I got some cleaning to do. I have a lot of cleaning to do, actually. I'm trying to rearrange this whole area now that we got a bigger screen. So shout out to us. So it's going to be a little bit different. I got some other pre-recorded videos I got to work for the weekend. I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired, though. But welcome. I wasn't friends with Adam, but he is a ginger and he dyes his hair. Is he? Like he's kind of like a redhead? Huh, I didn't know that. I don't know, Bennett. No, I didn't know he was like a redhead. Y'all are crazy in my chat. See, I cannot. Who's that guy? Hashtag who's that guy? It's the hair. It's very specific. I mean, you just don't see it like that. Yeah, that's why I felt like I heard somebody say they went to high school with Adam Lambert. You went to high school with him. Okay. I remember you telling me that, actually. I don't know. It's definitely high schoolish, but shout out to them. Amazing pod. I'm glad that they interviewed Bam and he gave his perspective. But thank you, Melissa. Shout out to you guys. All right, guys. Well, I will see you guys on the next one. Let me shout out some folks that supported the channel today. Thank you so much, guys. First of all, Sarah, again, thank you for being a member for 14 months. I appreciate it. Quirky, thank you for renewing. Phoenix Books, welcome to the membership. Shauna B, been a member for 19 months. Thank you, love. I appreciate it. Tinkle, shout out to you. Thank you for the $9.99. Cheeks, thank you for the $5. Y'all are amazing. I gotta go. Hit the like button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys. Bye.